Hey, what's going on, guys? So I just got back from a really cool convention. I kind of brought it up a couple weeks ago, but it was called Corgs. It was in Columbus, Ohio. I had a really great time. I'm going to show you a bunch of cool footage. There's some neat stuff I saw and everything. And then I'm going to show you guys some pickups I got. I didn't get too much, but the stuff I got was really cool. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So this is the beginning of the day of Corgs. This is in Columbus, Ohio. It is a really, good mid-sized convention. They didn't have their own halls for panels and stuff, but they did have some panels throughout the day, mainly towards the back half of the day. But this is kind of more of a convention for maybe buyers and sellers, as well as some gameplay. There was some great places where it had free play kind of consoles hooked up and some other things, but the main draw here was all the games you could buy and all the vendors. I will say that one thing that was really cool is, as you're seeing now, I get lucky sometimes and get to go to these things a little early, and in doing so, they let me in where I can film. So right now everybody's setting up. I did get to make a couple little wheels and deals. The people I was with actually had way more dealings than I did. I was just kind of looking and trying to get footage, but very, very cool. I mean, the setup here is one thing, but soon you will see what this thing really ended up turning out to be. So people started pouring in, I think maybe around 10 o'clock, maybe a little later, and everyone was out in full force. I mean, they had all kinds of games, complete in box, just different stuff, really, really cool stuff, a lot of stuff, to be honest. But people are selling console bundles, kind of the fare that you like to see at these kind of things. I really like it when they do bundles where maybe if you don't have something in your collection, or you're trying to start something new, you can kind of go all at once. A lot of people like to throw in, like a Nintendo 64 with maybe 2 controllers and a game or two, but there's all sorts of stuff here. I mean, they got a ton of toys, they got a ton of complete in box and loose games. You really get the whole range. I mean, a lot of people sell stuff that's rare. They have a case, a locked case, where you can see some really rare items. Some people only sell cheaper stuff just to be more accessible, maybe some filler or maybe more common stuff like your Super Mario Worlds and what have you, but you get a little bit of everything in conventions like this. And like I said, this convention felt more like a buyers, sellers kind of convention, which is great. I mean, some people, that's what they're into, and that's actually one of my favorite parts about conventions. So for me, it was very welcomed. I did a lap when I came in of everyone setting up just to kind of get some good footage, but then I did another lap where I filmed with more people around, but I kind of got to look and pick out stuff that I was interested in for myself. Then I kind of went through and started making my deals. In fact, one thing I really always like to do is, find something I like, maybe something that's niche or rare, hopefully, where it's something that maybe not a lot of people are after. Give them a price that I feel comfortable with, and if we can work a deal then and there, awesome. If not, let them sit on it. And actually, one of the items I got today was purely that. We could not come together on a price, and I ended up kind of sitting down and throwing my price out there to him, and he was like, I don't know, and I was like, all right. So I left, we went and got lunch, came back, saw him again, now it's a couple hours later. Hey, I'm still interested, it's still here, same price. He's like, I don't know, man. So I let him sit with it a while longer, and come back literally at the end of the day, and he was like, you know what, for if nothing else, I'll give you the fact that you tried a whole bunch. So he ended up coming together, and actually, this is the weird thing, I did not expect this. He ended up selling me the item I wanted for even cheaper than I was asking. I don't know if he felt bad for me or what, but it really ended up working out. But that's just one story in this crazy mythos of a convention. There's other stuff that is really, really cool, just besides games and whatnot, and I kind of want to show you some of that stuff now. This is one such seller. Very simple thing. None of these are official products, but it's a guy who had a bunch of cool trucker hats and put on logos on them. And you know what? They look great. The only downside for me is I went to go back to buy a Neo Geo one, and they were all gone. So that was my own fault. You snooze, you lose, and I definitely lost. Now, this was a vendor that was really cool. It was an actual PlayStation rep, and the rep herself had stuff from all over the years when she had worked there, you know, random promos and different items. And not only did she have all this cool stuff, but she had very reasonable prices. She actually had a whole cool thing of official shirts and jackets. Only problem is she was a petite woman and none of them fit me. But I did end up buying one thing from her that was just kind of cool, just for myself. But I love seeing stuff like this, especially because it's so rare. As always, I love showing off the cool areas of free-to-play games. Sometimes they have arcades. At this specific convention, they had 2 arcade machines, but mainly it was just setups with Nintendo Switches and Xboxes and all sorts of stuff like that. Still very, very cool. It's nice to be able to take a break, maybe sit down, play some Smash Brothers with friends, maybe hang out with and play some Mario Kart or Street Fighter, just something to kind of take your mind off, get your feet off the ground for a little bit, and have a nice little relax. This, however, was a really cool thing. If you're watching my channel recently, I just, like last week, got a freaking Steel Battalion controller, and they had a Steel Battalion set up here with 10 controllers and a whole bunch of stations. Sorry, 8 controllers, a whole bunch of stations, but still, multiplayer. It was really, really cool. The fact that you could go here with your friends and just free play Steel Battalion multiplayer with a whole gang of people is freaking amazing. But now I'm sure you want to know what I got. So without further ado, let me show you the very few but super cool pickups that I ended up getting over at Corgs. The first thing I wanted to show off is I have several of these in my collection, but I did not have this one. Granted, it is missing the sticker on the front, but this is a PS2 rental case. The deal I got was incredible. So even though it's missing its sticker, as you can see, the foam is absolutely perfect, flawless in fact. And this thing's just really cool. I love these rental cases, and they keep kind of going up and up in price. I ended up scoring this one for 35 bucks. Pretty sweet little deal. Like I said, it's nothing too crazy, but I'm glad to have it in my collection. This is the promotional item I bought from the PlayStation rep. She had a whole bag of these. It's basically a phone, like a cell phone charm for Parappa the Rapper. I think this specifically came out with the PSP version, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, cell phone charms are really big in Japan, and I love Parappa the Rapper. My wife is actually, it's one of like the 3 video games she likes, so I had to pick this up. She only wanted like $5 for it, and she even threw in a PS1 like old stock, new stock pen, which was really cool. So this was a neat thing just to grab. I'm really glad I did. Last but not least, this is really like my big pickup for the trip. I have never had a keyboard controller for my Dreamcast. I'm a huge Dreamcast guy, but someone had one brand new, complete in box, and I ended up talking them down to 40 bucks, and I originally bought it to kind of hold on to it for a friend because someone else was eyeing it. I didn't want it to slip through the cracks. But then later in the day, I found Typing of the Dead, and I was like, well, no, this has to come home with me now. And Typing of the Dead, if you don't know, is a pretty expensive game. And this is the game I was talking about, where I kind of left and came back, left and came back, left and came back. He had 150 bucks on it, which, to be fair, is a pretty crazy price. I think it's kind of going for like 120. But I kept offering him, 100. Like, I'll give you 100 bucks for it. And I ended up coming back, and he was like, you know what? Hey, we'll do 90. So the controller and the game, I got them both basically out the door for 130, which is far cheaper, especially with the keyboard essentially being brand new. So I plan on doing a video on this because I have now House of the Dead 2 access to it and this game. I kind of want to do a video on both. So be sticking around for that because that will be coming up soon. So that was my adventure at Corgs. I had a great time. I'm really glad I got to see some friends, really got to see some really cool booths, some cool items. But hey, let me know what you guys thought down below. The stuff I picked up, pretty neat. Did you guys enjoy the footage, enjoy the kind of stuff that I got to check out? Were you there? If you were, man, that'd be cool to hear your views on it. But hey, like I said, the convention season is upon us, and I think it's only gonna get better from here. That's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't, please do. That would be fantastic. But as always, my friends, take it easy.